Welcome to Stories from Sight, the renovation podcast that looks beyond those perfect interiors to the real journeys behind them. What went right, what went wrong, and what did people learn along the way? I'm Amy Donalik, and with my co-host Jane Middlehurst, we're here to share the stories that inspire and guide you on your own renovation journey. In this episode, we speak with Issey about transforming her 1960s Maisonette. With her background in interior architecture and a sharp eye for design, Issey shares how she and her partner created a light-filled home on a careful budget and the inspiration that guided their choices along the way. Welcome to the podcast, Issey. Great to have you with us. Do you want to tell us a bit about your project and what you were renovating?
Yeah, absolutely. So my partner and I bought this house. It's a 1960s Maisonette in Walthamstow. It's our first property that we bought together. We were in rentals for about 6 years before. And yeah, we fell in love with the property just because my partner and I are camera operators and we run our individual own production companies. And so light to us means a lot. And we knew that we wanted light-filled rooms that we could create content in and yeah, just have a beautiful light-filled house. And so, yeah, this building it's got 8 maisonettes and then 8 first floor, one-bed apartments on the bottom of us. So our front door is around the back of the building. So it's quite nice and private. And it had parking as well, which was amazing. But the family that lived in here before hadn't done too much to it. It was a lovely, cozy space. But when we walked around the windows, they're about 4 meters long from each side of the wall in the living room
Wow.
and the bedroom at the top. And we came on like a summer day like today and it just blew us away. There's not really any high-rise buildings in front of us. And like I said, yeah, they hadn't really done too much to it. The main room that they hadn't done anything to was the kitchen, which was really some people's nightmare, but my dream to just gut it all out and redo it. Even though it took us a year and a half to save the money to do that, it was that kind of project that I'd always wanted to do that kind of sold us the house, yeah.
Amazing. It's actually nice when you know that you need to replace the kitchen instead of it being like, oh, it's not really to my taste, but actually it's also okay, you know?
Absolutely, no, I agree, yeah. And, like, I remember my mum and dad bought their first house in London 20 years ago and yeah, the kitchen wasn't what they really wanted, but they couldn't afford to change it. So we just had to deal with it. And I kind of always said to myself, I would have loved to have ripped that kitchen off.
Now you got your chance and you did it.
Yeah, exactly.
So did you work with anyone during the renovation or did you kind of take control of what you wanted to do and stuff?
Yeah, no, I'm a bit of a control freak, but I also have a degree in interior architecture from UAL. So I wanted to be a designer ever since I can remember, really, and then somehow fell into being a photographer and a videographer and running my own production company 7 years later. But I've always had that deep passion of design and I've always wanted to just, have my own home and design it from scratch, who knows, one day. But yeah, so to answer your question, I took the reins on the project. My dear fiance, Stefan, was just like, look, this is your dream, you do it. So he helps make all my dreams come true, but I sit around the table and draw and research and rip out magazines and have endless Pinterests, boards. So I designed the kitchen and I did it from scratch all by myself, really digging deep on everything that I'd learned from uni. And then got my friend, Melissa, who's an architect, to oversee what I'd done. And she gave me her time for free. So thank you, Melissa. And then, yeah, we got a construction company called Our Films Matter to help us bring the project together from ordering IKEA to making sure that the PlyKear order was correct. The PlyKear team also were amazing. Yeah, I mean, we definitely could not have done it without the construction company. And yeah, it's been a dream project, really.
So did you just do the kitchen or were there other elements to the project?
So the main kind of renovation story, I guess, is the kitchen, but the hallway also had this horrible carpet that was smelly. So on the first week when we moved in, we ripped that out. My friend Sam was like, get rid of that, it stinks. We got rid. There were these weird, like crumbly tiles underneath. Yeah, nobody had done anything probably since it was built, the poor building. And so, yeah, it was a hallway retiling and skirting boards and switches and lights. So it was, the hallway and then leading into the kitchen.
I'm really interested to know, what are you bringing from your professional job in production? Like what are the parallels and how does that come into your renovation project?
No, it's a really lovely question. I think I've definitely pivoted a little bit, but it's also come full circle with my career. So it's so nice that I studied and have a deep passion for design wanted to be a kind of Zaha Hadid back in the day. My dad was like, "Are you sure? It's a lot of work." And so, yeah, then fell into more interiors, and that's when I went to university. But then picking up a camera and moving through a space and telling that story, light is so important, especially with video. Photographers have a slight more advantage of lowering the shutter speed and letting more light into the lens. But with video, you really have to light it how you shoot it. So for me and my partner, Steph, yeah, light is a big deal. And so, yeah, going to so many beautiful houses with small, big, designed by an architect or designed by a creator or an influencer that we're filming for a brand. I think I've taken in a lot of inspiration from what I like and what I don't like, and asking questions on behalf of brands or myself even, how they did their renovation. So I've been soaking up all of this knowledge just from having the advantage of walking through people's doors and interviewing them and creating videos for them or brands. And I think, yeah, as well as obviously going to uni, but that was a long time ago now, I do think that I've got this bank of people's experience in my brain that then I have relayed into my project. And also just how, as a content creator, I think the way that things are designed and your choices of material and colour really impact the way that you then want to capture it. And for me, with the job that I do, I really take that into consideration, something that I love to do and think about in advance before making that decision.
And can we talk a bit about the budget? Because you were saying that you had to kind of wait and get the finances together. In terms of planning for the renovation, was the budget a kind of driving force in it?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. This is our first house, and we worked really hard to get it, and to then get more money to renovate it is another like big hurdle. So it was really funny. Our poor kitchen, like it definitely held us through for a year and a half. But we didn't have an oven. We had a freestanding fridge that was like internal, waiting for the kitchen to happen. We had an air fryer that I used to cook roast dinners for me, my mum, my dad, and Stefan. Sometimes we didn't have an oven, basically. And it was all hand-me-downs, this like chopping block that my dad had built from Habitat when I was born. He like wheeled it in when we first moved in because he was like, you don't have any drawer space, so you've got to use this. Every time we walked into that room, I was like, come on, we need to get another job, or invoice needs to get paid so that we can put that in the pot. And yeah, our budget to some people was really small, and then to other friends were like, wow, you've done it. That's like an amazing achievement. But we knew that we wanted to go to IKEA to get the foundation of the kitchen, and our best friends had done the same a few years later and loved it and had no complaints. They also got bespoke doors made, so it just elevated that IKEA look. They didn't go to Plykea, they went to a different brand, but our office is near Hackney Wick, which is where Plykea's studio are based, so I knew where they were, and I knew that I wanted to use Plykea just because I loved the colours that they had, and they were a local East London brand. So yeah, we knew that we had to afford IKEA and all of the appliances, and then Plykea for the doors, and we went to a few other brands like Wix and all of those other more affordable kitchen brands, and they were just way out of our budget still. So yeah, we went to IKEA. We then had lovely meetings with the Plykea team. With my hodgepodge visualizations and renders, the Plykea team whipped up that and changed it into an actual cohesive drawing. So that was amazing to see.
I'm really interested in the contractor. What did you say their name was? Our Homes
Yeah.
Matter. What a great name. And
Yeah.
are they kitchen people, or did they do all sorts of things?
Yeah, it was funny that IKEA actually hire them to install their kitchens in their showrooms. I think they do a bit of everything, but yeah, they were recommended by Plykea. So we reached out to them, and me and Steph were like, oh, they're probably too busy. They're number one. They won't be able to fit us in. Prior to speaking to Our Homes Matter and Plykea, we actually reached out to a few local contractors, and they were really put off by our plan of using IKEA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was really interesting and not something that I was expecting, really. And I was like, oh, what's wrong with IKEA? Like, they're great. But they were really off put by it. I don't know if it was just the demographic that's in Walthamstow and the budgets that other people have, which was completely fine. So then I emailed Plykea and said, look, we're really struggling to find a good contractor to take this project on. What would you suggest? And they gave me a whole list, and we reached out to Our Homes Matter. And Damien, the founder, came over, and he was just the nicest man. He just put us at ease, and it was really funny. He saw a camera stuck to the window because we did a time lapse of the project over 2.5 weeks, but we were prepping it and seeing if it would actually stick to the window and work. And Damien walked in and was like, oh, why is there a camera on the window? Are you like influencers? And we were like, no, we're actually professional content creators. But they were amazing. And I'm so happy we could make it work. They squeezed us in bloody 2 weeks before Christmas.
Wow.
And they did it. Yeah, they did it. It was an incredible thing to see your house being ripped to shreds. Like literally, they just came in with massive like bulldozing hammers and knocked down a wall in our kitchen, just a small one. And it was just like, I was like, oh my God, this is actually happening. This is crazy.
It's so exciting. That first bit is just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They don't wait. I didn't even have time to offer them a cup of tea. They were just like...
That first bit goes so quickly. So it wasn't just fitting the kitchen. They did all the other works.
They managed the whole project. They got different contractors in for them, like plumbers and electrical people and all of the other kind of people that need to come and sign things off. But majority, it was just two or three guys over the 2.5 weeks just before Christmas. The first meal we cooked in the oven was Christmas dinner.
Wow. So
amazing.
2.5 weeks, start to finish, kitchen out, new kitchen in, full room, decorated. Yeah. That's great. That's efficient, isn't it? They sound like they know what they're doing.
That's absolutely, yeah. It was incredible. And two of my architect friends, so Melissa and Catherine, they're both clients of mine. They were like, "Are you sure you want to do this before Christmas?"
Yeah. They were just like, no problem. Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds so good.
Yeah.
Looking at your Instagram, I mean, it's so beautiful, and your color palette and obviously how you shoot things is really interesting. When you said that you took hodgepodge visualizations to IKEA, like how do you work? Like how, because you're seeing things, I guess, in probably more of a finished form. How do you assemble that look and feel together? And what's your process?
It started literally as we moved into the house. I think we gutted the living space and we had a sofa. It was just really cozy and I just couldn't help myself. I just bought a few magazines and went on Pinterest and got my notebook out and just drew an elevation of the kitchen that I wanted it to look like. It wasn't burgundy at the time. I think it was all wood, like quite a nice Scandi looking walnut wood look. And yeah, I just drew it with a pencil, literally. My mum is a beautiful drawer and she always said, look, if you've got something in your head, just draw it first. And then, did different versions of that, where the dishwasher was going to go, where the washing machine was going to go. And it really excited me because I was using my hands rather than using a camera or a laptop. And it just sparked a lot of inspiration for me, flicking through magazines and books. And we're like a massive collector of books in this house. And so, I went from there and I then opened my laptop. I took my drawing and designed it on Photoshop and I just created these two elevations. So our kitchen's kind of like a U shape. So we've got like a bar along the left-hand side, then the sink with the window, and then the right-hand side is like the long elevation that houses everything from the dishwasher, the hob, the fridge, the freezer, and the pantry right at the end. And when I walk into a space, even if it's somebody else's house or my own or my rental, my 3D brain always really just goes for it. And it's, oh, I would have done this or I would have done that. Or my brain's telling me to chop that wall off, or why did they put the bar there? It's a bit weird. And I get that 3D brain from my dad, apparently, who, can walk into a space and already have this 3D scan of it. So that's, thanks, Dad, for that skill. I guess you are right. I see things finished and then I have to work backwards. So these kind of plans of the kitchen were more kind of functional plans. So if you were washing up here, where would you then put the dishwasher? And if you were cooking here, because I am the chef in the relationship, how far is the fridge away? So just walking around that space or imagining myself walking around the space was really important. And then again, just Pinterest, Instagram, all of these amazing houses that I've had the pleasure to film and capture, going through my website and my portfolio and thinking, oh, I really loved that. I really loved that light, or I really loved that candle. And I loved the way that they hid the toaster in the pantry kind of thing. And then made a spider diagram on a software called Maisonette, which I've been using to organize my life for many years. And they already have these preset templates, so you can drop in all your images and it start to create a mood board for you. And Maisonette housed everything from the budget template to the scope of works document to my scrappy visualization, to then the IKEA notes and everything. It was like my brain on a laptop, which was really helpful. And then over time, scrolling through Pinterest and Instagram, I wanted to incorporate some form of colour and design-led feel to the space. I'm a minimalistic kind of neutral colour palette person. I do love earthy tones, so browns and greens. But Steph said to me, can we try and incorporate some colour into the kitchen? Because he's Caribbean, Spanish, and just loves a bit of vibrancy. And I was like, sure. And as he said that, we were making a cup of tea and I looked down at the floor, and the tiled floor in our kitchen, in the first kitchen when we moved in, was this really deep red, like burgundy red. And I looked down and I was like, oh, that's like actually quite a nice colour. And I don't wear red. I don't run towards dark burgundy. And I just then took the cup of tea, went onto Pinterest and was like, burgundy kitchen, is that a thing? It was. And then all this feed of like colour and kind of, really fun. And Steph was like, oh yeah, no, I really like that. And it's from the floor. So we're paying homage to it because we're going to take away that floor, because we wanted like a wood effect porcelain tiles throughout the hallway and the kitchen. So that then started phase 2, and I was doing another visualization on Photoshop and going on the Plykia website and choosing colours. And I went into the studio and I met Kath and Anne, who I was emailing all the time, and chose this beautiful, I think it's called Jaipur, Rosa Jaipur colour, red, and then paired it with a very neutral beige. And we just had some fun playing with the different kind of variations of that tonality in the space. There was a point where everything was red. Thank God I didn't do that. But it split the space up into 2, which is really nice. So as you go in, you walk in and that massive wall elevation is full of Plykia doors and drawers. But where the oven and the microwave are is 2 quite tall units. And then you have the microwave, the oven, the fridge, the freezer, and then 1 pantry door. And so we blocked that in the red. And then the rest is this beautiful beige with a off-white top, very clean. There's no kind of marble texture or anything like that, which then I second guessed myself. And last minute I was ordering with Anne online. And I was like, wait, I've had another idea. And she was like, I would love a bar made of the Jaipur Rosa red on the other side of the room to mirror that kind of colour. And she was like, okay, what's the length? I was like, 1 second. Ran to the kitchen, got my measuring tape out, measured what the bar length would be. I was like, this is the length. And she was like, okay, it's added. I was like, great. And then I found some red matching tiles from Carpietra, which were beautiful, these kind of square tiles that we then tiled up to then the glass cabinet. And I chose to grout it in a similar red colour, just because I was like, we just need to colour drench-esque this space. So it's a really lovely mirrored reflection of colour, but also keeping it neutral, modern, super sleek.
It's very calm. I'm just looking at it now. It feels just it's like calm and sophisticated. Yeah. Yeah. It makes me want to just breathe.
We've been in it now 7 months in that kitchen. We've been in the house a year and a half, nearly 2 years. And even Steph and we walk in and we're like, wow.
So nice. I love the colors, and I guess you're saying you're working in 3D, but it really sounds like you're working compositionally as well, like with the colors, with the texture and how everything fits together. I really like that compositional idea. It's almost like you're making a picture or a kind of painting or something. I love it.
No, thank you.
Can I ask, are there areas in the house that you're now thinking, oh, that's on my to-do list? Or do you feel you're done with renovating for a while?
Absolutely not. No, we have luckily 3 bedrooms in this house. We've just finished our main bedroom, so we've lime washed it, and we still have to put handles on the wardrobes and get a new rug and things like that. But the majority of the kind of renovating of that room's done. And then we have 2 back rooms, which is on the north side of the house, which are, it's a spare bedroom currently also working as our office. And then a smaller bedroom, which was the previous owner's office's room. And that is currently our dumping ground and shed. And we need to muster up the energy to go into that room. I guess everyone's got a corner of doom, so we need to sort that out. But no, we worked really fast actually when we moved in. And a lot of our friends, people that I've made friends with on Instagram, are like, you've only been in that house a year and a half. This is crazy, like the amount that you've done. And it was, a lick of paint here and there and styling with products and working with amazing brands on Instagram to do collaborations and create videos in exchange for product, which I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, there's still a lot to do. The stairs actually were the first things we did. And we, again, like I said, in the hallway, we had that smelly carpet. It was also going up the stairs, sadly. So Stefan ripped that out. And me and Steph don't have any background in not renovating, but like doing DIY stuff.
Yeah.
And so we just had to get in and get stuck in and get dirty. And it was something that we've really enjoyed doing and loved documenting it for Instagram and just for us to look back on, really. But yeah, no, definitely there's still a lot to do in terms of those 2 back rooms and then the attic. Stefan wants to do something to the attic to make it a bit more sound. But again, a project's never done, really. And
Yeah.
so many people that I speak to say that. I've got a lovely friend, Rena, who's been renovating her house for 4.5 years. And she's like, when is it going to be done?
You just start again. You just
Yeah.
like finish and either go around the same house again or then start a new house.
No, exactly. Can't wait. But again, you get attached to spaces. I don't know how people do it once they've poured their heart into it. It must be so hard to leave.
I think you just see the next kind of potential.
Yes. You walk into the new space that you're like, we could do this and this.
My brain just goes crazy in moments like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And really looking forward to following you and seeing the ongoing journey of the new spaces.
It's been a pleasure. It's been so fun to talk about it.